Hi there, listener. You're about to experience TADPOG. Tyler and Dave play old games, and there will be plenty of game talk, but also copious amounts of crude, off-color, offensive, and immature speech. So if you are of a rather sensitive humor constitution, we're just letting you know what you're in for with this show. It has games. It has jokes. You know, just games and jokes. Take the games, take the jokes, and have a good time.
Hello, Internet, and welcome to another TADPOG podcast. It's a show that happens twice a week. We're a grand total of 5 people.
TADPOG first.
5, four old guys.
Yeah.
And one still, it's going to end, but I'm not going to tell her when. One still rather young lady.
So just like that one day, Nicole.
One day.
Just like that, Tyler's going to be like 4 old guys and an old lady.
4 old guys and just an unfuckable old hag.
So how old were you whenever you first started this podcast? Whenever you started first referring
16.
to yourself?
Yeah.
16.
I was 18, so that tracks.
So you guys were calling yourselves old guys. 2 old guys at 16 and 18.
We're very mature for our age.
Because we were, what, 20... I was 27? 26, 27?
Yeah.
Is it the end of 2012?
Yeah.
Okay, so you were calling yourself old guys at 27.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
We
were the same age we started this as Nicole is now.
No, I'm not saying. I'm not
Nicole
saying
will
that.
be in 8 years.
I'm like 22.
So what is crazy about that?
So we got married when you were 15? Is that what you said?
It's legal.
It's acceptable.
It's legal in Kentucky. It's
with
true.
consent, it is legal.
Josh and his child bride.
That's a rare Josh cringe face.
They printed that on the invites. Actually.
On this day, Josh Nance and child bride.
Name withheld for legal reasons.
Yeah, in the paper it's just child bride, just black photo. She's too young. Legally, we can't print say her name or anything like that. She's a minor.
Her guardians won't allow it. So
She's a minor. Like she actually digs up rocks.
Yeah.
So
she's
Also not out of the question in Kentucky. So
You tell us? Can you tell us about your days as a coal miner?
it was dirty and dark. Those days were terrible.
So many dead canaries.
I did just watch a movie called The 33, a movie about the Chilean miners.
Oh yeah, how was that movie?
Starring Antonio Banderas.
Really?
As the sexy chief miner.
Is that how he's billed in the credits? Sexy.
Pretty much.
Flyer?
I mean, he was he played the famous one who always had the Chilean flag on his back whenever they had them Skyping their families and shit like that.
See,
And then Lou Diamond Phillips was in, and I was like, yeah, he's working. Yay, Lou Diamond Phillips.
my entire wealth of knowledge of mines comes from DuckTales, the Himalayan mine level. So if it's not like that, I don't know.
You've played enough dwarves in D&D. You can know some from that. I know all my gemstones from birthdays and Dungeons and Dragons.
How's Antonio Banderas' English these days?
I mean, they all spoke clearly good accented English.
I read somewhere that in Desperado, I don't know if you've ever seen it. It was
Oh yeah,
one of his first movies. It was.
Sure.
I think it might have been it. 'Cause it's actually his first English speaking movie. He did not.
Pretty bad.
Well, he did not speak English, and so they told he went through the whole movie phonetically speaking English.
Oh man,
not knowing exactly what he. I mean, I think he spoke broken English, but not knowing exactly what he was saying.
I like to. I can't believe you would agree to be like, I'm going to do this. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying, but I'll say whatever you want.
Well, I would.
Here's a briefcase full of money. You do it.
Well, who's the director of that movie? I'm drawing a blank right now.
It's not Rodriguez. Is
Yeah,
it?
Robert
Okay.
Rodriguez.
Okay.
So, knowing what that guy was probably headed for, Antonio Banderas' agent was probably like,
just do it.
Do this. Seriously, do it. I know it's going to suck. It's going to be hard. Just do it. A lot of shooting, not a lot of talking. Trust me. And that's pretty much, I think, what cemented his career.
Everyone in it had accented English except for Oscar from The Office, like perfect English.
Oscar's in there?
Yep.
Does he play the same
Just
character?
like anybody brown, fine. We need 33 brown guys. Just get them in. It's fine.
Aziz Ansari, you're in. Let's go.
He'd do it.
Yeah. Talk about old games. Let's finish up that ... Today we are going to be talking about sort of everything that was Little Fears.
Yeah.
What we think about the system, the game. Cool. Talk about the background behind the game. So we've got all the players except for Jacob, and then Ian is back with us to give your perspective from someone listening.
Yep.
And see how it sounded and how it sounded to you.
I was a huge fan. I'm just going to say that right out of the gate. It was one of my favorite things that you guys have done up to this point, and that's I asked to be here today for this reason, because I wanted to be able to give that feedback and let everybody know that at least one guy really liked the way it was handled and the way it worked.
Well, thanks, man.
Very engaging.
It's good to hear.
Before we really break that down, we got a package here.
Yeah.
We got Chris Edler. We got your package.
So wait. So we got Tyler, Josh, Nicole, Ian, and me.
Yeah,
Dave.
yeah.
All right.
That's us. That's us. but first, I'm your beard host, Tyler. TADPOG Sweethearts, Wiz and
Nah,
Save Ian.
Speculos, Dave. You know who we are. Look, if you're a new
If you're jumping in
listener-
now for the Little Fears retrospective,
Yeah.
Listen to the rest of Little Fears first.
New listener is such a funny phrase to me. It's just everybody who's been here from the beginning. So Chris Edler, what we got?
Chris Edler, TADPOG : Please enjoy another selection from the Lester's Fixin' Soda family. Also included is a bottle of Moxie. I don't know what that is.
Moxie?
This is a New England delicacy with a very strong, distinct flavor.
Oh boy.
All right.
Hold on.
It's urine.
They talk about it, and there's a reference to this in the Fallout DLC, Far
really?
Harbor. It's
Yeah.
Vim.
Vim is Moxie?
Vim is
Okay.
Moxie, yeah. Or Captain's Blend or
Did you
something.
find the Vim power armor?
Yep.
Moxie is usually a love it or hate it taste.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Polarizing.
We're all like, yeah.
I like it.
Like pee. Finally,
Love it.
once you've had it, you don't forget what it tastes like. So, finally, two of the most interesting looking Mexican candies available at the gas station next to the Chicago train station.
Okay.
Signed, Pinball Archmage, Chris.
Excellent. Thank you, Chris. Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah. Wait, save the thanks for
Yeah.
later.
Here's something wrapped up here.
While Tyler unwraps that,
Looks like a picture.
Aww.
A signed picture of his cats. Signed
Awesome.
Tarzan and Troy, I think I'm reading.
that should be a podcast. Tarzan and Troy in the morning.
Welcome to Tarzan and the Troy radio show.
There was that clip.
David is iconic. Tarzan yell.
Tarzan.
All right. Here is El. Okay, that's probably Portal, but I just like El Portal.
El Portal.
It's got a gate. So
Yes.
these suckers made out of plastic spoons.
Okay.
So they just
That's gross.
So it's a plastic spoon that just has
plastic
candy
spoon
on it?
that they dipped in candy and then wrapped up, and they're selling it as
Man, they're not trying very hard, are they?
Cucharazo tamarind
Alright.
spoon.
Chupacabra.
Chupacabra spoons.
I like your country accent Spanish.
That's the Peggy Hill.
Yeah.
Cucharazo tamarind spoon.
Doesn't it say what the flavor is supposed to be?
Candy.
Candy.
I bet tamarind.
What is tamarind? It sounds like a land in Elder Scrolls.
Yep. Yep. This is the native from Elder Scrolls. Their native candy. We got 4.
They really look like they were made in somebody's like kitchen, like somebody's
Yeah,
basement. Like
these
somebody
could be
just
like
made
meth
these.
spoons.
Yeah.
So, all right, here we go. I'm gonna take one. I guess you guys have probably put stuff in each other's mouths, so Josh and Nicole can share
No.
one.
Oh, I thought you were talking to me and Josh.
There we go.
Oh, and it's sealed by a rubber band.
Rubber band with plastic around. These probably made
Yeah.
at the gas station.
Everyone got their meth spoon? Great. Okay, let's unwrap this. Everyone ready to get addicted to a substance? Put this in your mouth.
You just hear that fallout. You're now addicted to Cuchizaro tamarind spoon.
Please send us more.
It smells
We
like
have to
meat.
have more.
It smells like meat. It does smell like
Sound like
meat.
my candies.
Ugh.
Is this meat, Chris Edler?
I'm taking the Nicole approach. I don't know if I'm afraid to. I don't know if I'm okay with
it's
putting
very
this in my
sketchy.
mouth.
I like it.
It tastes like
It's like a kind of a weak fruit roll up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a melted fruit loaf.
A gritty melted.
I
fruit
bet
roll-up.
they from like all the old expired fruit roll ups, melt them down, dip a spoon in there. Cuchizaro. There we go.
plastic adds that extra
Yeah.
something.
This is a homemade treat.
Yeah.
What's
Just like my neighbors who their special treat was Coke poured in a Ziploc baggie and then frozen.
Frozen
Cut off the
Coke.
corner and suck the Coke out of the ice.
Okay, I'm not gonna finish it. I changed my mind. It's
Yeah.
not that great.
I licked it a couple
the
times.
flavor is not good. The texture's all right.
Yeah.
Very fruit roll up.
All right. Here is more El Portal. Rebanada de mango. Hot mango slices.
Okay.
Looks just like this is Game of Thrones. This is candy made from House Bolton. It's just the candy of the flayed man. It looks like pieces of your back.
Only the finest back.
There we go. Everybody take one of these bitches. Yeah.
I bet it's the same. I bet it's the same thing,
Oh.
only in
Man.
more solid.
In a sliver form.
It says the number 1 ingredient is mango. The number 2 ingredient is hot peppers.
Ew.
Oh,
So it looks like there's hair growing out of this.
the number 3 is human suffering. Strangely enough.
Tears of the innocent.
Yeah.
It's very popular in Dark Souls.
It really does look like it could be used for a prop in a horror Halloween house.
Like tongues.
Yeah.
It does have hair.
I'm not a fan.
I've had like a hair in my mouth all day.
Oh.
Yeah.
It took me a second for that to soak in.
I feel like if you won't eat
Oh.
it, that really means something.
Yeah. I mean, I eat anything.
Yeah.
This is bad.
Oh God. Yeah.
I mean, I eat stuff with face on it from that one package.
It's when
so.
the pepper comes in. It's when the pepper.
That's what it's. They're like,
I mean, I don't like that. I don't like that pecker taste in my mouth.
Thank God.
Who knows where that's been? Well, I know where it's been.
it's like a strip of mango, right?
Yeah.
And it's like covered in hot pepper stuff.
I think so. I mean, but I don't know if it's actually mango or just like sugar flavored mango.
Looks like. Well,
Looks
it said
like
the number 1 ingredient was mango.
mango. You trust the Mexican this 99-cent Mexican candy it's
This is $1.79. I'll have you know.
I'm giving,
oh man.
giving them the benefit of the doubt.
I'm not gonna finish the candy, but I'm gonna keep the rubber band. Hope that's okay.
Yeah.
I'll check with Chris.
I know times are hard, Josh. You can keep the rubber band.
I like Depression era, Josh.
The rubber bands.
You've been
what
playing
you're
way
really-
too much Fallout.
The rubber bands, what
You
you're really
guys-
paying for. Anyway.
You guys gonna do anything with those spoons?
I have to carry him around for 100 miles for no reason.
It's a pretty high quality item.
Okay. Oh my God. I
What
see
is it?
through it. I see what this is. Nicole, you might like this one because I know you like this stuff.
What's that supposed to mean?
Ranch dressing soda.
Oh, for God's sake!
All right, let's. I mean,
I don't know.
I'll take a sip last because I've
Y'all
been
got
kinda
your
sick.
fixins. Because it's, a bowl of ranch and then of the various vegetables that you can dip into ranch on the side.
Now dip them in the soda instead.
Do we need vegetables? Should I go get some from the kitchen?
You think I keep some in my kitchen?
You look like a vegetable keeper.
I have like one 5-pound bag of frozen broccoli in my fridge, and that's it.
How's it smell?
Oh my God, I smelled it, and it was just like, man, this smells like blue cheese.
Here's the thing. I love ranch dressing, but I fucking hate the smell of ranch dressing.
This will change your mind.
What does it smell like ranch?
This smells like blue cheese.
This smells like moldy cheese.
Want to hate ranch from now on? Drink this.
At least it's clear.
Okay, I'm
Is
getting a
there
little
anything
more. I'm getting a little more ranch now. That initial like hit was just like,
Well, you gotta let it
was like
breathe.
the Looney Tunes Limburger cheese, like that smell that it's waves and then forms a fist and punches you in the face.
You don't like that ranch dressing soda pre-cum?
It's like a fine wine.
This looks like a bottle of pre-cum.
It really does.
As a man who has bottled my pre-cum, this is exactly what it looks like.
And Nicole, I apologize for saying that. I just remembered that.
Oh, yeah.
we got to cut.
Sorry.
That's probably.
We got to keep the PG.
Yeah.
Pre-ejaculate. I'm sorry. The taste isn't
How is it?
awful, but it's certainly not good.
Okay.
I'd like to stress that the views and opinions in this podcast are Tadpogs and not Nicole's.
Nicole Nance, in no way.
Okay. There you go.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
That might be the worst soda I've ever had.
Really?
Ever.
Ian, you look
Ooh.
ready.
You don't taste the ranch.
It's okay if you like it, Nicole. We're not.
You don't taste the ranch until like 5 or 6 seconds
Yeah.
after you drink it.
Nicole, are you examining
connoisseur
the
right
sediments
here.
of the
I
soda?
was looking at the ingredients.
Ah.
I'm gonna pass on the soda just because I'm one of those medicines I take. The side effects is to make soda taste flat.
Oh.
So,
Side effects is like do not take ranch dressing with this.
Yeah.
so it'll taste bad to me either way, even if I normally like it. So I'll just go out there and say, yeah, it's awesome.
All right.
How do these ingredients equate to ranch dressing?
I was thinking that
It's like
too.
5 things in it. I think it's natural.
The natural
flavor,
flavors.
probably is what.
They just took a spoonful of ranch dressing and just like stirred a gallon of water really
Yeah.
fast till it dissolved.
If I vomit, it's going on you.
All right. I'm ready for it. I like it. I'm into it.
Oh,
That would have been a really good vine. Just the 7 seconds of that drink and then Ian's reaction.
I will never forget that.
Yeah, that's
Awful.
Ranch dressing sodas. Ian's 9/11.
I think I can say my personal 9/11. What was that day I drank ranch dressing soda?
I'll never forget
It's
where I
Harris
was.
won when I drank ranch dressing soda.
Who's that guy's face?
This is Lester. Yeah. This soda's gross.
Lester is an evil man.
Lester's Fixins. We remember Lester.
Chris, this next soda better be good. Oh,
Is this the guy who always has Ziggy on his return address labels?
No, this is
that's
this
Michael
is,
H.
This is Pinball
Pinball
Archmage.
Archmage.
Oh, I do like getting the packages out of the box and seeing the Ziggy labels.
Yes.
It always makes me smile.
There we go. Moxie Original Elixir. Distinctively
Moxie.
different.
Well, that's certainly a slogan.
You know, they say the same thing about Vegemite.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, reading the ingredients on this: carbonated water, okay. Pure cane sugar, okay. Natural artificial flavors, caramel color. Like I'm not getting anything in here that's not going to just taste like sugar water.
At least it's real
Natural
sugar
flavors.
and not that high fructose
Gentian
corn
root
syrup.
extract. It's the only thing I haven't seen before.
What is it?
Gentian root extract.
Gentian
So this is
root.
Gentian root soda, I
Maybe
guess.
It's a little bit of Meyerlark ground up into it.
It actually looks like liquid Vegemite. So
Ooh.
I bet it tastes like Vegemite. What do you want to bet? You've had it, haven't you, Tyler?
have.
Yeah, it's pretty awful. I once traded a soundboard to an Australian guy for $20 and a jar of Vegemite.
Is that a lyric from a Men at Work song?
It might be. It was the
smells good.
unpublished verse.
The director's cut?
I mean, it smells pretty good. I'll give it that. Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad.
What's it taste like?
I still think it tastes. It's clearly very carbonated. It's
Yeah.
going crazy.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
it tastes a little flat and watered down. It's like a flat, watered down Coke.
Are
Maybe.
you on Nicole's medication?
Yeah. Yep.
So it'll taste just like water.
We
for
both
her.
take Tylenol. Call back. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Not bad.
Is it like a cola or is it
It's an
It
elixir.
tastes cola-esque.
It does smell like flat
Yeah.
Coke.
like flat RC or something?
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm
Yeah.
going to like this. that actually sounds pretty good.
Like RC.
Yeah, I did too.
Can't help myself.
When we do that, we do those weird things. Like if I order a pizza, normally I'll order a pizza and wings, eat the wings, immediately put the pizza in the fridge, eat it tomorrow when it's cold.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's
then
like
you get RC, it's really RC, open it up, drink it tomorrow.
it's
Just
like
sit on the counter.
it's like you take flat Coke and put just a little bit of cough syrup in it.
Ooh.
That's kind of what.
Man, I'm a robo trip in a minute.
Sounds kind of good.
I have fond memory. I love RC because of the local barbecue joint, Starnes.
Yes.
Like they have RC, and so now every time I eat a barbecue sandwich, I want an RC cola.
Didn't Arby's used to have RC?
I think
Yeah,
so.
that's why I would go
Yeah.
to Arby's. I hate their fries too. So I just get an Arby's sandwich in Murray and then drive across the street to like Hardee's or McDonald's and get fries and a drink.
It was like one or two places in town you could still
Yeah, there
get
was a
RC.
skating rink that I went to get RC.
Gotcha.
RC is like the official beverage of skating rinks. I feel like that, like that's that and like truck rallies. And
You want RC or grape knee high?
This guy on the label looks very accusatory.
It really does. You're going to like this or I'm fucking suing you.
What'd you think, Nicole?
I didn't
She
drink
didn't
it.
drink it.
It
Oh,
smells like
I thought you were like, if it
smell like
already tastes flat.
No, it smells like root beer though.
And cough syrup. Right, I got that.
It's an elixir. It's not a soda. It's a original elixir.
Wait, I recovered all my HP and MP. So
Well, it's not a high elixir.
That's pretty tasty. I like
I
that.
don't think that's too bad at all.
No, you're right. There is cough syrup in this soda. I definitely
There
taste
is like 1920s like cocaine and morphine cough soda or cough syrup.
What was Matthew Perry's character in Fallout?
Oh, ring a ding ding, Benny.
That's who the guy on the label.
Yeah,
That's what he
kinda
looks
looked
like to
him,
me.
yeah.
Dave, I know you used to smoke. Did you ever smoke clove cigarettes? Mm-hmm. Tell me that the follow-up doesn't taste like clove cigarettes.
I do not like this one bit.
You're gonna make him relapse.
I do not like this. It does kind of remind like I don't know
Got
what
that
the
same weird
yeah. It
taste
does.
to it as clove cigarette. It's like the longer you wait, the more it comes
No,
through.
I don't like this at all. That's actually I started smoking on Clove cigarettes.
Oh God, no wonder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was an art kid, man. What can you do?
For all you listeners out there, you shouldn't smoke. But
Don't
if you're gonna smoke, definitely don't smoke cloves. They're really, really bad for you.
Yeah.
They're like 10 million times worse for you than regular cigarettes. So just don't smoke at all. and you'll
That's
be fine.
actually why I made the switch
'Cause-
to regular
Yeah.
cigarettes.
I mean, people like used to get bleeding stomachs from smoking.
This is messing me up. I need to get on some Marlboro Reds. Get my health up.
Yeah.
I know. Isn't that's logic,
It's a
right?
step in the right direction.
No, it's about time I took care of myself. Give me the Cowboy Killers, please.
There's another can in there.
No.
Oh, I just put that in.
Oh, okay. Trash. It's
If you want to try my Blood Orange Mountain Dew Kickstart,
So we're dead even on the sodas. One was
Yeah,
completely
one-
horrible, and the other
one was
was
all right.
palatable.
No, I think they were both bad. That elixir was not good at all.
Tell me though that you don't at least think the elixir was better than that ranch dressing shit.
I think they were equally bad.
Really?
Yeah, I
would
think
you
they
put
were
that cap
equally
back
bad.
on that ranch soda?
Toss it over to me.
Good catch.
Thank you.
We're both at negatives for throwing and catching, so that was a good roll on both our sides. All right, you want to talk about Little Fierce now?
Yeah.
sure.
So Ian, why don't you go first? Tell us, because let's start with the listener's perspective about how you felt listening to it.
Well, and I'll be honest with you. At first, I didn't know how it was going to go, and I think you probably felt that way too, because you've not ever done anything like that, as far as I know. And I haven't gone
Just-
back to the back catalog and listened to some.
Just Tomb of Horrors, but it wasn't that invested.
Okay, now and I have not listened to that one, but I found myself just really becoming engaged with it, like you would a TV show. It was like I was sitting in the room at the old place, just on the couch, listening to you guys play. Like I wasn't an active participant, but I was actually concerned with how it went. And no, don't do that, or just kind of like, oh shit,
That was the big one, huh?
yeah, and thinking of things that I might do and everything. And I actually, after listening to the whole thing, I text our boy Dave here and said, I want to play. I wanted to be in. So I've already asked to be in on the next game, because I really like the way that played out when you're just listening to it. It was like, I don't want to say a radio play, but in a way it kind of was.
It's sort of, yeah. I think you're right.
I like that,
listening to
too.
Adventure Zone and the gaming podcast I listen to, it
Yeah.
is very much like that.
And I was actually, I always look forward to the next episode and of your show, but these were like almost cliffhangery, like
Yeah.
I want to see what happens, because you stopped it at just the right places and picked it up, and it was memorable enough for me to remember what had happened before. And really, on a personal level, when I was a little kid and I read The Cat in the Hat, God, that book I hated it because I was the fish. You remember the fish was all not in your game, but in the book was all like, no, don't. I'm the fish. I was just like freaking out. Mom and Dad are coming home.
Yeah.
This place is a fucking wreck.
Ian the Fish, we used to call you at work.
Yeah, I just had real problems with that book. It was one of those great books that drives you crazy. When you said that's what it was, I immediately thought, oh God, this is going to be terrifying, and it really was. Some of the descriptions that you made of the cat and how just disgusting he was, and thing 1 and thing 2, and all of it just worked so well. And
I polled a lot of people for like, what are things you find scary? What are descriptions you find scary? And then incorporated that into like what the cat would look like,
Yeah.
and thing 1 and thing 2.
It worked so well. I mean, I'm a huge fan of just listening to the random stuff you do on Other Shit Monday, and taking calls and all that stuff is great. But I think this adds another level of level's not the right word. Layer of things you could do to help round out that Monday show. And I haven't really had a chance to weigh in on this yet, but when you brought up, I don't want to do a game on Monday. I want to do whatever comes to mind. I completely agree with that because you are, the show is very diverse. Believe it or not, it's very diverse. You cover a lot of things. You talk about a lot of things, and the conversations you have are actually very informative, very interesting, very funny, very, it's a great way to detox and sort of tune out. But this really added a level of telling me this is what we do. This is the kind of things that we do. You can say, we played this game and this is why we liked it and we didn't like it. And clearly you're very much what you're talking about. You talk about controls and you talk about how the sound and the art was bad or good, or I really like this and here's why. And that's great. That's what the core of this is. But there's more to what you guys do than just talking about old games. And when you got in and do the tabletop, it really, I think, helps exemplify the kind of things that you guys enjoy doing. And in fact, I was talking to a friend of mine at work about it and telling him about the tabletop, and he had some sort of misconceptions about how tabletop works and everything else, and I was able to sort of give him that, and so now he's thinking to himself, boy, I'd like to kind of get into that kind of thing too. So I mean, I think you're really you did it right, and it was great to hear you guys all playing, and you were clearly having a great time, and I just really, really, really enjoyed it. And I really hope that I'm speaking for the nation as a whole. I hope that your listeners really liked it too, because I'd like to see more of it. Whether or not I'm involved, that would be the highlight of my week, to see that we're doing another tabletop. And I love that. I really do.
I want to do more of it for sure, because it is like, that's a thing that we used to play a lot of tabletop, and we don't as much anymore. And I think, like, obviously, like, life is a big part of that.
Yeah.
But I think another big part of that is doing this show.
Yeah, that's
Because-
true. Because our 2 nights a week or whatever that we would normally have free to game, because we used to do 2 or 3 games at a time.
Yeah.
So that instead of that, now we basically do this.
Right.
Well, and when we did that, we started one with John Turley and the 3 of us. Nicole,
A 5th edition game.
Nicole wasn't there for that.
Nicole played. You played in some of the one shots that we did, but you didn't play in the
I think I was-
Horde of the Dragon Queen.
You were there.
I was there, but I wasn't playing.
Okay, right.
I was hanging out.
You might not remember much about that night when you were there.
But we didn't finish. But I do. That was the first time I had sat down and done that in a long time, and I remembered it. It really made. I really enjoyed it, and this was sort of, in my mind, a continuation of that kind of thing. I don't even care that I'm not playing. I'm just being there, listening to it play out, and it never got boring. It never got, there were no lulls that just sort of whatever. Even the parts where you're like, well, I don't remember how many dice I'm supposed to roll or whatever. It just, again, it was just one of those things. You're just sitting there like I'm in the room having a beer, listening to you guys play and sort of laughing along with you, or being like, oh shit, what's going to happen next type thing. So excellent. Well done.
Thank you. I'm glad to hear that because I personally didn't get any negative feedback
No, I haven't either.
about the series.
I thought you did a great job. I thought like the
Thank you.
story was great.
Oh,
I
yeah.
thought you ran it well. You
'Cause
taught the rules
That
well.
was something else I
Yeah.
did want to bring up, and sorry to be sort of hogging the mic right now, but I did want to bring that up. The story you wrote was amazing.
Thank you.
It was really effective. It really worked for me, and I just do more.
Because Jacob and I came up with that idea sort of collectively, like maybe the first or second Dragon Con we went to when we played the actual Little Fears game. Then him and I talked about it afterward. Kind of came up with that, and he was like, "Oh, you should run that. You should do that at Dragon Con." And I was like, I'll do it eventually. I'll think about it. So it's been ruminating for a long time.
Well, and I had made the comment today when I said I want to get in on the next one you record. Was I like the fact that one was more rooted in, I don't want to say in reality, but
it's
in the
not,
sense that
high fantasy.
it wasn't
it's
right.
not high fantasy, right? This was something. This was more like a role-playing horror movie type thing. You know, it's still obviously fantasy. It's very not real, but at the same time, it was relatable. I think probably more relatable to a lot of people that.
Yeah,
maybe,
I'm playing an elf. You're playing a dwarf.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
We
If-
gotta. Yeah.
If you weren't into that kind of thing, this sort of
Granted,
opens
in
the
reality,
door.
because we all go to Ozfest.
Right. exactly.
Every year.
Well, you got to have that nugget of truth.
I mean, I've got my plaid shirt wrapped around my waist. I'm ready to rock. But,
Your chain wallet.
yeah,
I got
but,
my monster tattoo on my chest and shoulder.
But I think had you done, at least on your first outing recording this, I think had you done a strict D&D type thing, it might not have been as well received. And I don't mean by me. I mean just by anybody out there that that didn't grow up reading that kind of thing. I mean, and I did. So I would have probably enjoyed it just as much, but I do like the things that are sort of more rooted in reality. Because what that does is a lot of people probably didn't even think that the dragons and the wizards and the stuff were ever not an option type thing, like it could be literally anything.
Well, when
as long as
you
the
think
story-
tabletop, you think D&D.
Exactly.
And that's why it turns a lot of people off because they
No.
immediately think, "Oh, Lord of the Rings type stuff." I've seen that.
Not,
So-
not many people know that Ghost Dog Way of a Samurai is a tabletop that you can play. So if you're a fan,
As far as being relatable to a lot more people, you picked the right one to do, and it went really well in my opinion.
Because I didn't even know there was a new
Congratulations.
edition in this until we sat down to try and find it.
Yeah.
So, because I still think I prefer the older system a little bit better, but this one is definitely better to listen to.
So the older system is just more horror oriented. This is more action oriented.
Right,
The
right.
Nightmare Edition that we played.
Yep.
There are any number of things that you could have chosen to do. I cannot speak today.
We done it, so we do
done
it.
it.
So now we done it. It's fine.
Yeah, we understand how
There
that
are a
works.
number of things, and I don't mean just in tabletop genres. I mean at all that you could have chosen to do to fill your time to make a show happen that's not necessarily all video game related, and that wouldn't have worked. This one did, and I could honestly see a weekly podcast of just that for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
like if you
I think we'd
just-
already love to do that.
yeah, if you had a completely separate show, where you just played this type of stuff,
Yeah, that'd be great.
I would recommend it to everybody, just because it's that radio play feeling. It's that I'm listening to a story. It's very good.
I'd love to make this a weekly thing.
Because Nicole, I mean, you've been basically sort of labeled as the audience surrogate because you happen to ask all the questions that people who aren't super familiar will ask and wonder. As they're wondering it, then you will ask it. So we've had good response. They want you on for this kind of stuff because you answer their questions. Because we've, Dave, Josh, and I have done this for such a long time. There's stuff that we just automatically do and assume because we
Sort of
know
take
it.
for granted.
Yeah.
And I agree with that statement. You really leveled it out. There was a lot of stuff I didn't know, and you would ask the exact question I would have on my mind, and it was perfect. Perfect.
So what did you? Because you've done a few games now since you've been with Josh and started gaming with us, but
You're
you still
welcome.
you're welcome. So what did you think of playing it, especially compared to your other experiences gaming and
I really liked it. I liked that it was an easy system
yeah.
because I feel like with
You didn't like not having you got two plus twos from two different sources. Those stack, but then these two don't stack.
unnamed bonuses stack, but named bonuses won't stack with the same name bonus. It's obvious, Tyler. Everybody knows it.
Yeah, I just think that like it can get bogged down when you have too much going on, and it just becomes not fun. And so I think that this was an easy enough system that it was still fun to be involved in the story, and I didn't have to constantly worry about I've got 6 index cards with all with everything, all of my powers and things. So yeah, I thought that really made a difference.
Okay, and did you feel, because I know you're a pretty lawful person, and I know you like rules and things like that. So this didn't have as many rules in it. You were allowed to sort of, especially with belief and things like that, you were free to just like, okay, just justify it. Was that fun for you, or do you wish it had been like a little more regimented?
I think that I could have done with a little bit more structure, but I didn't think that it wasn't too bad.
Because there were some times whenever it was your turn with belief, I saw it in your eyes, you were just kind of like, but then once the ball started rolling, then you were fine. Then it's like once you got like a set in your mind for things that you could do, then it was like, oh, okay, great, yeah, bam, 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 bam.
And I never felt like you were stretching the rules too much or just letting too many
I did.
Weird things go.
I did.
Did you?
Really?
Yeah, but I was okay with it. So.
Yeah.
'Cause I was on this side. But if I were in your role, I think that I would have been not as
More
lenient.
strict.
Well,
Yeah.
like something I think is interesting about Little Fears, and I could be wrong because we hadn't really played it before. I've only played in one other Little Fears game, and it was like a 4-hour session at Dragon Con. What it's a different kind of game than D&D, not only in like setting, but it's also different in that I feel like a game like Little Fears is more dictated by story than like a typical D&D game.
Yes.
And I think because Little Fears is lesser known, I think that kind of dictates that it's more of like a story thing. Like, well, what would be cool in this scenario, and can we make the rules work with it? And if we can't, it seems like one of those systems where it's like, okay, well, good idea that player had, so let's just try to make it. Let's just try to make it work.
I feel like systems like that, and there are a ton of different systems out there, but systems like this where there are either not a lot of rules or the rules are easily exploited or broken.
Yeah.
You've got to, I mean, those systems are still great. You just have to find the right DM or GM for it. But like a system like D&D is very, very specific about what the players can do, what the DM can do. You know, there's not a lot of leeway for, well, I mean, of course, the GM always has the option to just say fuck it to the rules, and just tell a story. But there's it's more, these systems it's sort of a crutch for them, but I feel like it works a lot better for the story if you find the right person, the right group too.
Well, it's completely, in my opinion, it's a completely different way of thinking, because it's like D&D is, I mean, there's a lot of story involved in a lot of D&D games, but like on the whole, I think D&D is more like a tactical role-playing game.
You have your battle map.
Yeah.
You're going into the dungeon. You got to worry about supplies.
Your miniatures, and like, I mean, I know there are people who don't play D&D with a battle mat, but I feel like most people do. And I know there are rules in like 5th edition where you don't have to use a battle mat. But I think like in previous editions, like 4th edition, and definitely in 3rd edition, you need a battle mat. You just do, because there's so many combat rules involving someone going through an opponent's square, and they threaten attacks and stuff like that.
Because when we first started playing 3rd edition with Ramon, because we didn't have a battle mat back then, and it was always it was hard to do because I was playing a ranged character. I was playing a gunslinger. So then I would start to like shoot whatever, and he was like, "Okay, you get hit. Why? You didn't back up." I didn't know I had, like, I was. Okay,
you didn't know you were right up on them.
Yeah. So.
We also butchered that system whenever we first started playing, but that's just because we didn't know the rules.
Didn't know.
I think that's a D&D staple also. I feel like the first time you play, especially like the first time you run a D&D game, it's just like, whatever. I don't know what's going to happen.
You just roll with stuff that you've heard.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, no, you have to be an evil ranger to make your preferred enemy your same race.
Yeah.
To be evil. Oh, okay. I don't see the rules, but okay, sure.
I remember playing 2nd edition, and it's like in middle school where it's like half of us are just monsters from the monster manual like we just picked, and it's like, okay, whatever, it's in a book, we can do
pretty
this.
fun, actually. Yeah.
I want to be a Tara skew. Yeah, let's be a Tara skew. Okay, I'm just looking over my notes here. Because there's a lot of stuff. I had general notes put down. A lot of stuff whether I didn't get to or got skipped or I changed, because it's a lot about being able to alter stuff on the fly.
Yeah, that's just the nature of role-playing games like that, yeah.
Because let's see. Well, first up, okay, let's talk character stuff before I get into this. Because when you started, there was a section that said, your character has a secret. Write down the secret on a piece of paper and give it to the GM.
Mm-hmm.
No one else is allowed to know the secret. So each of you gave me a secret.
Yeah.
And I mean, none of you know what your secrets were.
Right.
I was only going to use one. I could only use one of them. So, do you?
Thanks.
That's not a bad thing.
It's a rule in the book. It says you can only use one of them.
Like here, Dave. So Nicole, here, Dave. What was Glim's secret?
My secret was I have an AK-47.
So I couldn't really use that.
I like it.
And then Nicole, your secret?
My secret was that sometimes I like to steal small pieces of jewelry.
And Josh?
I had a bridge troll that I talked to under Charge Bridge.
An actual living real troll.
A real troll.
Old Hobo Joe.
Yeah.
So no, did any of that ever factor into the actual game?
I had planned for it too, because the part where they go into Char's parents' room, like I mentioned, there's an open jewelry box full of gems. And I know, Nicole, you said you had thought about it, but you guys started getting busy doing something else.
Yeah.
So I kind of assumed that Fidget would steal some of the jewelry. And then so sort of the twist bad ending was Char goes to boarding school anyway, because the cat didn't do that, so it wouldn't be fixed in the end. So then his parents like, you stole your mom's jewelry for what? Drugs? That's it. Boarding school, you're gone. So
But
you got a better ending.
twist, Ozfest is actually performed at the boarding school this year.
They filled in enough online ballots.
Everyone wins. We took a Facebook poll at the boarding school, and turns out this year we're going to have Ozfest here.
I like to think your AK-47 was named Magic Missile.
Never misses.
Yep.
Let's see. And then I took a lot of the quotes were out of the book, and I tried to make them rhyme. Harder to do on the fly than I expected.
I didn't think that you did a lot of rhyming.
I think I did once, because remember I did it. Jacob was like, yeah. And then
Yeah.
I got in my head about it, and I couldn't do it again for the rest of the game.
Well, even when it didn't work, like I could tell what
I
you
tried to speak in a pattern, but the words didn't rhyme.
Well, I could tell what you were going for, but to me, it still worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like-
I'm not much of a freestyler.
You want to do?
I get killed on the streets whenever I try to do freestyle competitions.
You
guys-
rhyme like 2 words in the middle. And that worked. He's right. It did. It worked.
So we should totally pause the podcast right now to do our own deaf comedy or our deaf poetry jam.
God.
No,
That'll be
we
the stinger.
you could do it. Yeah, we just pause the podcast every few minutes whenever you need to come up with a rhyme. Be a really long recording. but-
Mom's spaghetti.
Spaghetti. Let's see, something I had to change on the fly because I needed the fish to be taken away for a while, because the fish was sort of the key in the information. So, I mean, Jacob had an idea to get the fish and succeeded, but that would have kind of ruined the horror part of the game, because then you would have had an answer machine right there. But I didn't want to, because he succeeded, I didn't want to not give you anything either. So like I was just like, well, I knew it was the Blue Angel, so it's like, oh, yeah, the water's blue. You get it. We'll see what it does whenever I think about that. Whenever you use it, so there you go.
The Blue Angel.
The fish in the Little Fears mythos, like the force of good in Closet Land is the Blue Angel. But few people believe in the Blue Angel anymore, so
okay.
its power is diminished over time, and the monsters are trying to overtake it.
Okay, so that's like a Little Fears.
Yeah, that's an actual Little
lore
Fears thing. Yeah.
Okay.
I gotta tell you too, the Wikipedia Brown
Yeah, the flashlight.
It was OP.
It was OP.
It was OP.
Yeah, I kind of felt bad when I used it sometimes, because I was like, well, I didn't mean for this to be like the only thing that I do in the game, but it
Well,
kind of is.
that's the thing about the rules too. It just said like spin your belief in something, whatever points you think makes sense.
Yeah.
So okay. You guys did skip. I had one battle in the bathroom that was filling up. If you had tried to reach in and unclog the pipe, You thought of a large clog monster made of all your family's hair and things like that.
Golgotha.
Yeah, like got the hair demon. So you got out of that fight.
Why is your family shitting in the tub?
We're a waffle stomp family.
Why do you have all these crucifixes in your bathroom?
And I forgot at the time because I normally edit really late. I was going to layer over all of the Thing 1 and Things 2 voices to make them sound like they were speaking double. Totally forgot to do that. It's in my notes. Forgot about it. The clown doll, harder than I thought. But yeah, you put the clown doll. If you had gone in the box, it would have shut on you. But then you could have also like been able to envision where you wanted to go after that and open the box and be in a room. So it still would have worked wherever you wanted to go.
What was the clown from? Because I haven't read The Cat in the Hat since I was probably 7. Is that a
clown? Just a lot of people that I asked, clowns are scary,
Okay.
so I need to
All
put a clown in it somewhere.
Okay.
Clowns are scary, but they're supposed to be funny.
I know
Really?
some people, some weirdo think that. I don't know why.
I hate that.
Okay, next little fear is Sylvester Stallone. Sylvester
Sylvester Stallone and Sylvester the Cat kill clowns.
That was Char's secret. I am Sylvester Stallone.
Let's see. All the stuff in Char's parents' room, like the safe and all that kind of stuff, that was made up on the fly. When you were, that'll be there. I was like, a safe? Okay, what could the password be? Okay, here's this and this and this. Like, that was...
Well,
and I'm glad you guys figured it out because that could have been a really boring part of the game had you not
we
figured it out.
Yeah, we
quickly.
wasted entire gaming sessions on trying to figure out a puzzle. So yeah.
I knew that the moment I knew that it was made up on the fly is when he used my telephone number from from the early 2000s.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, okay, this is on the fly.
No, they would have. That's what he would have called you early in the 2000s.
Yeah.
And you just would have gotten, because I remember your voicemail too. So if they called, that's what it would have been. Hey, this is Dave. I'm not answering my phone because I'm not available or I'm probably watching my minutes. Thanks. Let's see. Because I had each of the rooms set up to something would have come out that was tied into each of your character backgrounds. And originally in the game room, there was going to be a bathroom that then out of the bathroom would have been an apparition of Jim, Jacob's character's dead mother, chastising him. And that would have been his, because everybody's going to have to make a soul save at some point in time. But that was the thing that happened. Let's see, you did the laundry room. Everything in the laundry room, basically, about as I thought it would go. So nothing, except taming the violent dogs.
Yeah, I was about to ask.
Heaven dogs, yeah.
The dogs.
Because I'm surprised that the Wikipedia Brown was OP, because that's like the most OP moment I felt, where it was just like, I just got control over these dogs.
Yeah, man, they were tough, too. Violent dogs in the handbook are tough.
I did have them. I listened to this while I was after work at the gym or whatever, and there were a couple of moments where I was like, what? It didn't last long. I mean, I was like, I like heaven. I like the heaven dogs. I like it. They went a good way with it. And it wasn't dragged out too long, so it was easy to sort of put it behind you and move on, and we're good.
A room that you missed had you not gone, because basically you could have gone into the kitchen at any point in time and then have just seen the cat. Until you interacted with the cat, it was going to ignore you. Him just digging through the fridge, doing things like that. So had you looked, okay, no, we need to figure this out first, and then you could have gone to any other room. So the kitchen was exactly as I thought. Room you didn't go into, the stables. One of those doors would have just led you outside into your family's stables. And it would have been full of horses that were starving and mistreated, and the things would have been whipping them and keeping food out of their reach and torturing them. And sort of the thing there was going to be kidnappers. So once you got in there, and I'm sure you probably would have wanted to take care of the horses, the things distracting you, and then a large white van would pull up outside the stables and hooded men trying to grab each of you and take you and put you in the van.
Yeah.
So I've been struggling to get away from them and get back.
And then you just sick the heaven horses on them.
That's right. That's right, man.
And then because the kidnappers wouldn't have done damage to you, it would have been just a constant grapple of them trying to get you up and take you into the van. Let's see. Had you overcome the fear and then take care of the horses, the horses could have healed you and restored abilities and things like that.
Heaven horses, yeah.
Heaven horses,
Heaven horses.
unicorns.
Mr. Ed, I miss you.
The American Doll Room.
That was the creepy one.
That was because another thing a lot of people said, like dolls, clowns, things that are skinny. You missed. That was pretty much as I thought. There was another study, and yeah, the study would have been. That's the thing that fidget. I'm sure Nicole, you're probably glad you didn't get to that because in the study there would have been the large like bolted windows that the things would have opened and flying insects would have filled the room. So
Sounds terrible.
giant bees with stingers and things like that would have flooded the room. The things are
Giant bees with stingers?
with stingers. Not those stingerless bees.
I have a question. When you built this originally, this prior to rolling up all your characters, you sort of came up with this general story and the layout of what was going to happen. Did you tailor the sort of bad stuff in each room after
The fact
had
to the
been
characters.
rolled
Yeah.
to be
I knew the bare
pertinent to
bones of
those?
the story,
Okay.
how I wanted to do it, and then I filled the rooms based on their characters.
What they had told you when you were rolling up.
Right.
Got it. Cool.
So then, like, that would have been because because also in this study would have been because there are bad belief items that you can use that are powerful, but they sort of destroy your belief when you use them. So, like in the study in your dad's desk would have been the belt he used to beat you with.
Daddy's
So
belt.
that would have been Daddy's belt would have been. You could have used it; it would have been a powerful item, but it would have broken you every time you used it.
It's interesting.
Yeah, grants you a bonus to fight, but takes away a point of health whenever you use it. Let's see, because I had the thing for, because I ended up talking to you about it, Dave. One thing I forgot in the laundry room, there were going to be posters about you being a missing child. And the thing, then I ended up using that as the cat. What the things the cat said to you were going to be the things that were set up for you to like, you're missing, and they were old and dated. They didn't care that you ever went missing. Or,
Right.
things like that. Since you'd said at one point that you were probably from a huge family with way
Very
too many
big
kids.
family, yeah. We're Catholic.
So, and then, because what the cat used, like on Fidget, that was more or less me playing into things that I know Nicole probably wouldn't have appreciated, being forced into a gender role and you can't do this and you can't do that. And then with Char was a little more difficult.
Because he's so tough.
He's so tough. So tough.
I like the idea of like Char growing up in that battle where it's like, yeah, you're just an adult now.
Yeah. Just suit and tie. And, go to work.
Because it was requested that we revisit Little Fears on later down the line with these characters again. So, because I was reading over the book, like basically 12 is as old as you can be. Once you turn 13, then basically your belief then vanishes. Your belief permanently becomes 0. But you can play that character for 1 or 2 more sessions max. And then that's when that character sort of, the monster, you can barely see the monsters at that point. You can barely fight against them until the point that you can't. So that would be a cool thing to incorporate if we ever did that again. To like now Char comes back from boarding school 13, sees Glim, something happens, and you can't really help him. You can barely, something's wrong, but you can't see what it is. The troll looks like an old man again.
It's okay. I think Char's afraid of Glim at this point. And after the like Heaven Dog incident, he's kind of got a new, a very respectful fear of Glim.
Well, I could see it turning out in a way where Char sort of says, almost becomes dismissive of the things that Glim's bringing. No, there's a monster. He's like, oh, no, you're not. Like almost like you'd forgotten sort of the things you'd gone through before, and you just sort of let it off into the ether. But yeah, I don't know. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like look, Glim, I used to think that the guy who lived under a bridge was a troll. Turns out he was just a perverted old man.
Because looking from edition to edition, like the older Little Fears had a lot more to do with Closet Land, and Nightmare Edition has things coming out of Closet Land and invading the real world, and only kids can see them because they believe in things that come out of Closet Land.
So Closet Land is just where monsters live?
Yeah, that's like the realm of imagination. And going there, from what I remember, Little Fears 1 was basically about having to be in Closet Land.
What I remember from being a little kid.
What I
actually
remember.
seeing these things.
And the original Little Fears is much, much darker than Nightmare Edition. So much darker. Because you have like Call of Cthulhu has your sanity score.
Right.
That's the all important thing. Like once you lose your sanity, you're unplayable. That's it. You're gone. Little Fears is like that, only with your innocence score. And then instead of belief, you have to risk or use your innocence. So you can do powerful things with it, but if you fail, like I remember playing the older edition, that I was playing a girl who really she was in the principal's office and she really needed to get like an ID to go in somewhere to get out. So I used my belief magic to try and make that they left like the desk drawer unlocked. So I failed and lost a ton of innocence for it because I wasn't as safe anymore as I thought I was. And basically then in original Little Fears, if you run out of innocence, you're forced to grow up too quickly, and then it basically tells you grow up into a very messed up sociopathic type adult. That's where those people come from. So then it breaks down like the big enemies, the 7 kings in Closet Land are all of the 7 deadly sins. And there's a big disclaimer in the back before you get to the last one. Like, you may not want to read this. We have to incorporate it because it's a factor of life that children have to deal with, but there is a king of lust. And there's a big chapter dealing with child molestation and all that, like that you can play that. It's in there because it's a reality, but that aspect being included that's not in the Nightmare Edition
They
makes
give you
it
the
infinitely
out.
darker.
Yeah.
So in the canon of the Little Fears world, if all of these closet monsters and whatever are coming out into the real world and only the kids can see it, is the negative effect on society as adults see it the sociopathic sort of kids?
That's how things,
That's their end game, is to turn all of the kids into these terrible people. So
Right,
we
and
now
that's
are
how
a
they mess up our
society of
world.
awful people. I gotcha.
So it's far, I mean, the action is almost not there because you're encouraged to not do it and then just figure out a way to avoid your enemies, banish your enemies, things like that. You don't want to fight them. You're not good at it.
It makes sense
So-
because you're kids.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So even in this, and then because Dave, you had talked about it, like how you're so glad that you guys chose the wide range of ages because all of you, like, it was absolutely necessary for the 3 of you to be the ages that you were to succeed.
Yeah. No, I liked it because I like playing a high belief character too because it was fun. It allowed. I think it was the perfect choice for me because it allowed me to kind of like. I was weak, like I couldn't do anything in a fight.
You were the equivalent to Glim the Wizard in
Yeah,
D&D.
but like the fighting isn't really fun to me. Like what's fun to me is like where it's like, well, let's just see if we can tame these dogs. And if I don't, then they'll just eat me. So that was fun, and I like that. I like that element of risk too, because I mean, I assume I would have been in really big trouble if I had failed that care.
Yeah.
So I like that.
Yeah, I like this system because of stuff like that. Because it really reminded me of the early levels of a D&D game, where you kind of have to be creative about battles. Toward the end, the higher levels of a D&D game, it's just run up and hit things. Basically,
The whole bunch. Your turn takes 10 minutes. Somebody else
I
has
feel
10
like
minutes.
I feel like it really it got a little better in the new edition, 5th edition, but that's basically how it was. Whereas the early levels, you had to be creative, you had to use your environment, you had to think outside the box, and that really reminded me of those early levels.
Low level
which reminded me,
games to me, like low level D&D games, are so much more fun than high level D&D games.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't know how, because I need to read more into it, but I'm not sure how you could make this game much more protracted than we did. Like, I don't see how a Little Fears game goes on for months like we
Yeah.
can do a D&D game.
Yeah.
I don't know the system for progression or how things change, because it also, like, getting stats any higher, doesn't make sense, or getting more belief doesn't exactly make sense. So I have no idea how it doesn't go on for everyone being 5 or 6 sessions.
Yeah, it kind of felt like a lot of it was recovery. Like, you don't really get any stronger, you just recover. Because there were
Yeah.
a few things, like you could only, was it the healing kit or the belief or something like that?
The Nature Girl kit.
You could only use once per session.
It's even in the
Yeah,
book
things
that,
like
that tells you, like, you have to, a child has to know how to care and typically has to have, like, some kind of method to care with like that. And that's the only thing that was listed in the system that could do it. Otherwise, an adult has to help you, like a doctor or something like that. So yeah, real recovery is hard in that game. So it's all about managing what little resources you have as far as your health. And then like had somebody died, then when the game was over, that person just would have like been asleep and died in their sleep, more than likely. Like you would have had a heart attack or a brain aneurysm or something like that in your sleep when everything went back to normal.
And then Char definitely would have gone to boarding school.
Yeah.
Remember the time you murdered your childhood friend Glenn in his sleep? No Ozfest for you, mister.
So, yeah, I know he's in heaven with those dogs.
Yeah.
So overall, I'm happy with how it went. Now I'm
Absolutely.
I enjoyed
ready to
it,
do
man.
another one.
Thanks for running it.
You're welcome. I'm glad to have it down. So if I ever do want to do something at Dragon Con, then I have it that I can just do it. So hopefully next, like I like, because Ian, like you were saying, I like doing this kind of low fantasy. So really, the next one I run, I'd really like to do the Dresden Files.
I'm looking forward to that.
Urban fantasy.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward
and
to
it's
that.
similar. Like there's a very clear progression to the Dresden Files, but it's also sort of magic is more loose here in Dresden Files, like it is the belief system. Like you can use it what you think and justify it and spend your like tokens like you have belief. And you can, the thing about the Dresden Files is it's all about building interesting story. Not necessarily that happens, you get tokens to win by allowing bad things to happen to your character or interesting things. Like the example in the book is Harry is fighting a group of trolls, and one of them is charging at him, so he uses his flame spell to hit one. Also, the GM is like, you spend this and this and this, but if you also choose, you have to give me a token to avoid this bad thing, or I will give you a token instead if we allow your flame spell to go through the troll and burn the building down behind it.
Interesting. So it's like a complication kind of system.
Uh-huh.
Cool.
Now, is this the one that you told me you were wanting to do?
No, I want to run a Delta Green game.
Oh, yeah,
which
right,
is like, it's kind of like the X-Files or Fringe meets the Call of Cthulhu mythos.
Yeah.
So it's like, instead of dealing with like gray aliens and stuff like that, you're dealing with Yog-Sothoth and stuff like that.
I like that.
Yeah.
So I've never run it. I've never played it. But I've read, there's a new edition that just came out, which I've read the quick start rules, and that's what I plan on using. So it's probably going to be system light.
Yeah.
Because it's like a 20-page quick start that I'd like to do like we did Little Fears. I'd like to have a session where whoever wants to play, we all roll up our characters on that episode, and then we go over kind of like the general rules in that episode, and then the next one start playing.
I liked that layout a lot because it was good to help me understand what was going on as well as understand the different characters and their different personalities, rather than having to explain it as you went along.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Glim is 6, and by the way, he's got Chug Knight,
Right,
stuff like
right.
having that inventory and those personality traits sort of established for the listener ahead of time was spot on.
Nicole's mentioned doing mouse guard game. I think that sounds like a lot of fun. So
What was that?
We brought that up too, yeah.
Yeah.
You want to run Mouse Guard, Nicole? Or you want to play Mouse
I
Guard?
want to play.
I'm all for Mouse Guard and Shadowrun. That's something else I want to do.
And we've talked about that because,
Yeah.
I think you're better suited to run Shadowrun. I've read the Mouse Guard book twice,
Yeah.
and it's based on Burning Wheel, which I've read once. So I think I could swing a Mouse Guard game if you want to play a Mouse Guard game.
I think that'd be awesome. And Shadowrun, like I'm gonna have to study the crap out of the Shadowrun books because those rules are, oh man, that is complex
I know.
and deep and like, man, it's. I mean, I went out because you mentioned it. I read your edition and then I played the game and I fell in love with the whole mythos behind.
Yeah,
Shadowrun.
the lore in Shadowrun
Yeah.
is fantastic.
Yeah, so I immediately
It's really
I went
cool.
and bought all the books, like all the latest system books
Yeah.
and some splats, but then it's so complex to try and learn. Like I've been listening to podcasts that try to explain it, but it's still like it'll take me another that's something that will happen down the line because I'll have to really study it. Because to make that game flow, I need to know exactly what I'm doing all the time.
I think.
Have you seen the old commercials for it?
No.
Like late 80s, early 90s commercials for it where they're the what do they call hackers? Deckers. The decker is running around with like a keyboard, like just a keyboard, and like she plugs it into they got to get into like through this door, so she plugs it into a computer and just starts typing and like the door opens.
Try door open.
Yeah.
Oh, I got it.
No, say Battlestar Galactica here, and I'll play the right song. Click. All right.
This is Unix. I know this. I'm in.
I can get in with my Simon pad.
All the cliche.
Does anybody know?
Green, red.
Does anybody know COBOL? No. No. Shit.
That was one of my favorite things about Fallout 4 was when you hack. He does like make comments like that, like "got it" or "I'm in."
Yeah.
I gotta bypass the firewall. Give me 15 minutes. Any last thoughts, commentary, anything? Little fears?
Nope.
Nope.
Not for me. I enjoyed it. Other than that,
I'd be down to run it like for us to play it off the mic and make it incredibly dark and upsetting.
Yeah.
Other than that, like, I mean, I like the system. I want to try doing the original one sometime.
So, do you plan on running it like a Dragon Con or something in the future?
Yeah, I think I could do that.
Yeah.
We get enough listener support. We'll go and do it. It's fine. We'll do it. That's fine.
Yeah.
We'll do a TADPOG thing. Like we're actually there doing a live podcast, and then we'll do it. But that's years away when we actually have a fan base that goes to Dragon Con beyond Drew and Bailey. So. All right. We got a little bit more time if we all want to collectively calls.
Yeah, you want to take some calls? So I've noticed something. We're working with a new soundboard. So Tyler, I've got a question for you. Does our waveform look okay in Audacity?
We look good.
The reason I ask is because normally I've got a stack of lights over here that are lighting up when we talk. Not doing that right now. I noticed that about halfway through our recording, and I was like, should I say something? And then I realized, well, we've already drank 2 really bad sodas, and
We don't want to drink them again.
there's no going back on that. So I just wanted to make sure that
No, we look
that I was
good.
picking up.
You just don't have your inputs set the inputs are halfway, so that's probably
Oh,
why
that's right.
happening.
That's right. Thank you, Ian. Whew, that makes me feel better.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm so glad you were here to help us troubleshoot this day.
Oh, my pleasure.
Or to help Dave troubleshoot this. I
My
sat
pleasure.
here.
Anybody got anything else they want to say? Oh yeah, we haven't been recording this whole time. So.
We've just been talking to
Yeah.
each other very formally.
Yeah. Is that going to be a problem? Does anyone have a problem with this?
This is how we always have conversations where we look at each other in turn and ask for feedback.
This is the only way that I can actually talk to anybody. Is I have to wear a headset and like pretend I'm on a show.
This or as my persona. Either one.
Well, and for the record, so the listeners know, this was, as we noted earlier, a day in Tadpog history. This is 5 mic'd up people
Yeah.
I know
all
this
on
is
at once.
This is a Tadpog first.
Yeah.
The new soundboard that we picked up with Patreon funds allows us to have up to 6 mics plugged in, which is an upgrade of 2, which is great for D&D and other role-playing sessions
Yeah.
because it's like I like the idea of having 4 players, and then Tyler, I know that you do too. And we couldn't really do that on the old board because there was only 4 slots, which means we got 1 GM and then 3 players. So this is going to be nice because we can actually have like nice, rounded groups.
Everybody in Tadpog blanket fort.
That's right. I love Tadpog Blanket for it. I love that that's the name for this new recording location. We do have some calls. We also have some text messages. The first text message we have is from 520. They sent us a couple on February 24th. Let's see. First one is, well, I did it. 290 eps plus all the Patreon episodes. I am all caught up. Only took 2 months or so.
Oh,
What?
man.
Wow.
like 300 hours of content. And
Quit job.
more than that.
Very hungry. Caught up on Tadpog.
Anyway, so my question is, what's your favorite Tadpog moment so far? For me, this is 520 talking. For me, it's the all calls shows because I love the fan interaction.
Oh, love that. Love somebody said that.
Yes.
Yeah, I like to hear that too. Also, the Game Facts Up 290 was fun to play along with. Hope the rest of the week goes better for everyone. So I think this was in the
No good,
horrible,
no good, very bad week. Favorite Tadpog moment?
Yes, favorite Tadpog moment.
Nazi Coke.
Yeah,
That was pretty
that's a
good.
classic.
I guess all the things that have become like inside jokes, like let's talk about Gooters and church basement, things like that then caught on, I guess, are the moments that still stand out for me because I'm becoming more and more like you, Dave, where it's just like once we do an episode, it's just like click delete.
Oh yeah, I just forget it. I have to like flush it from my memory so that I can go on with like my like regular things that I do in life.
Because if you feel like you did something shameful, you just have to push it away and not dwell on it.
Yeah, you got to bury that. You got to bury that turd. So like this is tough for me to say because Josh is here. But one of my favorite Tadpog moments is hearing somebody that I don't know personally do the Josh voice. Every time that happens, every single time that happens, I'm like, wow, this is a surreal fucking experience.
Yeah, Phil calling in, reading Frog and Toad, and Josh being the turtle. He looks so happy.
Yeah.
He's so happy.
Just the other day, I really shouldn't be telling this story, but
Excellent.
no, just the other
I
day,
killed somebody with the Josh voice.
I killed a man under the bridge.
I need a guy I work with was doing an impression of me, saying something apparently I always say at work. Anyway, he was making fun of me, and he did. I don't think he consciously did the Josh voice, but he did the Josh voice, and I just bit my tongue. Oh god.
I don't know, ma'am. I don't know where it is. I always say that at work.
So I'm sorry, but that was like a moment where it was like, oh wow, people are actually listening to us.
But of course, Nicole has never done the Josh voice. Not once, ever.
That's why we're still
It
married.
was part of her bowels.
So thank you very much for that text message, 520. The next one we have another text message. This is from Guy Who Dances, Paul Korn,
Oh, that was also a good moment.
who says, is the milk in cereal a beverage, a sauce, or a soup?
I've seen that, the unanswerable question.
Oh, that's a thing?
Mm-hmm.
It is absolutely not a beverage.
It is a delicious beverage.
But some people drink
I
it
drank
after
the milk.
That is
Yeah,
disgusting.
I do.
It's disgusting.
Cereal
don't care,
milk, you
no
think it's
shame.
disgusting?
It's disgusting.
To the people that like the restaurants that like use that will let cereal set and then drain and use the milk in desserts and things like that.
I don't know. No, I mean, then you're eating it in something. I'm talking about drinking the milk after you've eaten cereal.
I used to have a bowl with a straw attached to it, so I could, as I ate, I could just drink it right out of
Are
the
you
bowl in a
serious?
straw.
Is that a thing?
Built-in straw.
That
yeah.
is genius. Oh.
Well, why not just put it on the end of the spoon? You know, like the like the McFlurry spoon. But
Oh man.
So, Nicole, what do you do when you have milk left over?
I throw it out.
You don't pour more cereal
Yeah.
on top of it?
No,
up
she,
top.
That's right.
she
How does-
leaves
gotta pour that out.
She does not pour it out. She leaves it on the counter for me to pour out.
Okay, that is one of my pet peeves. People leave like a little bit of milk in a glass
Oh,
and
I
just
hate
like
that
leave it
too.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Hate that.
Gotta rinse
Hate
that
it.
shit out.
Any kind of milk, like if milk has been like out of the fridge and not actively consumed or drank and just sit for like 30 seconds, gross. Can't do it.
Yep.
Hate it. What else was I going to say? How do you guys eat cereal? Do you pour, like, you have your bowl, do you pour cereal in it? Or do you pour milk in it and then pour cereal in
I pour
it?
the
You
cereal
pour
in
cereal
first.
Cereal.
first. Yeah.
Pour the milk over it a little bit, just to give a little bit. I don't like a lot of milk in my cereal.
Do you like
Just
you like
enough
crunchy cereal?
to- I do.
Okay.
And then if there's milk left over, I will typically also toss it out.
Yes.
I don't drink that shit.
I
That's
will-
right.
See, I will drink it and I let it. I will like it to get soggy, so I'll just put a lot of cereal and a lot of milk and just like cereal is good about halfway through when it's all like a really soggy.
Swamp.
And then I drink the milk. too.
Swamp bowl.
Now, if I'm really hungry, I'll pour more cereal on top of that milk. I won't add more milk. I'll
Right.
just use that milk to
And then
fuel
just
the next bowl.
just
of cereal,
bathe the
but-
cereal in milk a little bit.
Just
Yeah.
a little splash,
Yeah.
just to freshen it
A
up.
soup soft milk.
It's really interesting. I'm learning a lot about you guys.
Yeah.
Because Jacob is like an OCD. He likes to have the perfect amount of milk for the perfect amount of cereal. So he adds his milk in first and then slowly adds cereal. So he's done with
Really?
milk by the time he's done with the
I gotta have cereal on top. I gotta have
Yeah.
milk on top of the cereal.
You got to be
Yeah, I
very
have to.
careful because I'm not careful at all when I pour the cereal. I just dump it in.
Yeah.
You know. So if I did that with milk
He gets
in
like
the
a
bowl,
paint can and dumps a whole box in
it
it.
would just go everywhere.
Now there's the technique of smashing the cereal down into the milk, not to smash it up, but to
Just get milk on
to
top.
Dunk it. To
Yeah.
dunk it.
I think that
yeah.
we over here eat
Yeah.
cereal the same
I think you're right.
On northwest side of table, we share the same cereal eating habits.
I like my cereal to be like the consistency of spaghetti. Just chewy. Yeah.
I like a little bit
Captain
of crunch.
Captain Crunch that just like slides down your throat.
Oh,
there
no,
we
no,
go.
no.
Al
There we
dente,
go.
Captain Crunch.
I'm not on Tyler's side of it. Sure.
Captain Crunch looks like it's full of just old barrels, like just floating in your milk.
I am so concerned with it not becoming soggy like you just described that I eat cereal like I'm in prison or like someone's about to steal
While
it.
having
I
anal
eat it.
sex.
Yeah, eat it so fast that it stays crunchy because if it starts to get soggy, I'm out. I check out.
I do rotate my cereal. If I feel like the bottom part is getting too soggy, I'll like scoop it up to the top.
Yeah.
Put it in
Yeah.
a different bowl.
I need 6
I
bowls.
like Josh eating cereal. Yeah, it's a 3 to 6 bowl
Yeah,
process.
it is a process.
Well, here's for the main cereal. Here's the spillover cereal. Here's the cereal that's gotten soggy.
Got any extra milk? I got a bowl for that.
The irregular cereal, because I only eat perfect squares. So
This is also Josh's platform when he runs for mayor. I got a 6-bowl program that's really going to turn this town around.
but I think milk is a beverage. And even in cereal, I think it's a beverage.
Milk is actually not a beverage. It's a food, but it's like
It's not meant for us, it's meant for cows.
It is.
Yeah,
We
that's
shouldn't
right.
eat it.
It's not your mom's milk.
Nope.
I wouldn't put that on cereal.
Does it taste like pineapple juice?
Yeah, so
What? Why not?
not gonna take the bait.
So one of the benefits of having Nikki as a wife is she's introduced me to a wonderful way to eat cereal, and that is she pours a glass of milk.
Out of her mouth.
Yeah, I mean I like it. I prefer it.
The mama bird method. Yeah.
Yeah, she actually eats she chews the cereal up and then just spits it in my mouth while I'm asleep.
just looks like, brown concrete just
Yeah.
coming out of her mouth.
That's like just fresh mashed up cardboard is what it looks like. She will pour a glass of milk and then put a bowl of, she'll just put cereal in the bowl and then she'll just take the glass of milk and then pour in however much she thinks that she needs. Then she'll stir it up and then taste it. And if that's good, that's the perfect amount of milk. That milk will stay in the glass, the part that's unused, and it'll just be saved for the second bowl of cereal.
All right.
And then you gauge how much how much cereal you'll put in your second bowl based on how much milk you have left in your glass.
When I was younger, I used to also have a glass of milk with my cereal. So, like the very sweet milk, when it's too much, I get the regular milk.
Cut it?
Yeah. You had to drink it. Oh, I'm thirsty. I need to drink milk with my cereal. Okay.
So many schools of thought on eating cereal. Who knew?
I think that based on the 3 options that we have, beverage, sauce, or soup, I think that I would go with sauce, that the milk in cereal is a sauce
I agree.
because it's a separate element, right? Like the cereal's like the noodle to like bring it back to your spaghetti comparison. The cereal, like the cornflakes are the spaghetti noodles and the milk is the spaghetti sauce.
Hold on. So, how does that hold up if you take chocolate syrup and put it in milk and make chocolate milk? Is that chocolate milk now a sauce?
No, because that's a beverage. Because now you have, once you put chocolate syrup.
What if you poured over cereal?
Well, chocolate syrup is also chocolate sauce. So it can't be, chocolate milk can't be a sauce because it's like once you mix that shit up, now it's just a completely different, it's gone through a chemical change.
It's a homogeneous compound.
I'm sure that Tony
will
he
correct
can
me on
back
that
us
if I'm
up on
wrong.
this.
Well, and you're mixing it for the purpose of drinking when you add
Right.
milk, when you add chocolate to the milk.
Okay, so intent is
Perhaps.
factors in.
Yeah, I think so.
Because that shit right there could be considered
disgusting.
Besides that ranch
The ranch
dressing,
soda.
I wouldn't really turn up a bottle of ranch dressing, especially not after that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I use the salad as a vehicle to get the ranch dressing in my mouth.
Yeah.
Do the three of you not eat Fruity
Pebbles?
Pebbles?
Oh, I'm a Cocoa Pebbles guy.
See, because I feel like it's impossible to keep that crunchy.
It
Like,
is.
It's
Yeah,
just going. Like,
it is
5
impossible.
seconds. It's like eating or
Yeah.
chewing juicy
Yeah,
fruit
Pebbles
gum.
in
Like you have
general.
5 seconds
Yeah.
before it's just
It's tough.
paste.
Unless you fill the bowl level with Fruity Pebbles
gotta
and then
keep,
add milk.
You've got to keep adding pebbles.
Yeah.
To round out the
Or
crunch.
put the dry pebbles in your mouth and sip your milk.
It's a real arms race.
Okay. So here's a scenario: you have a gallon of milk, you pour it through a cereal filter, and then right back into another gallon of milk for the purpose of drinking it. So now you have cereal
Why
flavored
would
milk
you do that? That's disgusting.
for the purpose of drinking. Is that still a sauce? It is the exact
No, because
same.
now you're
Then it's
drinking
a
it. You're
beverage.
not using it on.
But wait,
It's intent. I agree.
Okay,
with
so
yeah.
so it is intent.
That's
So we've
intent.
narrowed it down to the intent of.
see, I'm
What
torn.
is your milk intent, boy?
I'm torn on this because keeping with before the spaghetti analogy breaks down, keeping with that, like if I were to eat all of my spaghetti noodles and there's still sauce left, that's still sauce to me. Even when I sop it up with bread.
Because you're eating it with bread. You're not turning up your bowl and drinking your spaghetti
But if I
sauce.
did but if I turned up the bowl and just drank the sauce, it's not a beverage all of a sudden.
You could, well, no, but it's holdover. It's holdover sauce. It's like, I love this. I'm not going to let it go to
Yeah.
waste, so I'm going to eat it. Eat it.
not drink it. I'm
Right.
not, even though I'm treating it like a beverage, it's not a beverage.
Right, but you could do that with spaghetti sauce.
The moment you put milk in cereal, it's sauce. Before you
Yes.
put it in, it's a beverage.
Anything's a beverage if you try hard enough. What's mustard? It can be a beverage.
Tackling the hard questions at TADPOG.
That takes about up all the spare time that we have.
Thank you, guy who dances.
Thanks for listening, everybody. You can find the show on iTunes, Stitcher, and SoundCloud. So don't miss the next episode. I don't know what we agreed to do.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Right. Sonic the Hedgehog. So, because that's all the Genesis list that we look at, like, that game's not really on any of them.
Yeah, or they do
But I
like,
feel like it's important.
or they do like the Sonic franchise as
Yeah.
one entry, which is bullshit.
Yep.
I think we can all agree
Complete
on
bullshit.
that.
I played the Sonic Hedgehog on the Genesis like a million hours, and half of that was me getting stoned and just watching the demo.
So you're coming on Tuesday then?
Yeah, are you down
Great.
to
I
record with
can't
us?
come Tuesday. I wanted to because I actually did play that game a lot, but I can't make it.
Bummer.
So just imagine me getting stoned and just watching the demo repeat for hours on end. That's what I used to be.
You can do that and listen to the show.
Yeah,
Be fine.
Maybe bring back some fond memories. It was the music of that. It was very hypnotic.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that
Yeah.
part. Let's see. We still love 5-star iTunes reviews. Please.
We
We're-
do.
We're at 148. I can taste that 150. Be nice. Get that divisible by 5. Nicole knows what I'm talking about.
That's right.
Yeah. So please go to iTunes, find TADPOG, subscribe, give us a 5-star rating, write a review. So if there's a game you want us to do, a guest host you want on the show, Patreon request, include that in there. We promise whatever you put, we will get to that eventually.
Don't worry, guys. Like Tyler said, we're going to be back. We're going to be talking about Sonic the Hedgehog. In the meantime, you can always find us on tadpog.com. That's where the show notes live. Let's see. Do you want to see a link to Ghost Dog Way of the Samurai RPG? That'll be a link in the
I
show
do.
notes. So if you want to go, don't bother Googling it. It'll take a lot more time to go to tadpog.com, find this episode, click on the link, sort through the list of links, find the Ghost Dog link, click on it, and you're there. It's worth the 40 extra seconds. You can also find us on Facebook. We're at facebook.com/tadpog. There's a lot of cool people there doing a lot of cool shit. There's a lot of interaction going on there. So if like listener interaction is your thing, we love that. That's great. Facebook is like the way to give us direct feedback on a specific episode. So like every time we publish an episode, we have a post for it on the Facebook page. And if you want to weigh in on what milk is in cereal, that is where you can let us know.
I feel like we've solved it, but if you want to beat the dead horse.
Yeah, I do. I feel like we've got this on lock, but maybe not. If you have new evidence to submit, then that's the place to do it. Facebook.com/TADPOG. You can also find us on Twitter. We are at TADPOG_podcast. Please, no cereal tweets. That's specifically a Facebook thing. We're going to keep all the cereal milk on Facebook. Everything else can go on Twitter if you'd like. Thank you very much to everybody who retweets us, especially our episode announcements. And also, I am not super hip on Twitter, but there's something on Fridays called like a follow back Friday or follow someone Friday. An FF. I don't know what it is. Nicole, do you know? You're laughing.
I don't know, but you just speak with an air of confidence and pretend you know.
Yeah, but no, I can't, because what'll happen is we have enough listeners, we have enough vocal listeners to this point where like if I speak like I know what I'm talking about, but I don't, at least 8 people on Monday will be like,
correction bonus immediately.
Excuse me, motherfucker. Did you not know what you're talking about? Because it was obvious you didn't, so I have to be honest.
So it's hashtag FF is what it's called?
Yeah. So
I would have been like, man, Final Fantasy is booming
I
on Twitter.
know. I think it's like Follow Friday, where you're like recommending people, your followers on Twitter to follow these other accounts.
Okay.
So we've gotten a few of those recently, and that's really cool. So thanks for that too. Thanks for the retweets. Thanks for that, and just thank you for just the general non-milk questions and interactions on Twitter. That's cool.
And the milk question in general. So
Facebook, please.
Facebook. We like our Facebook milk. Thank
Yeah. If you want to call us or send us a text message, you're probably going to get played on the show. So if you want to join those ranks, you can give us a call or shoot us a text at 270-883-2555. We love them. I love answering them. I love listening to them. So we're kind of backed up right now, so it might be a little while before we can get to it. But please call in. Give us your opinions. Give us your questions, your hard milk related questions.
Frozen milk. Oh man.
Oh,
No,
that's not even.
That definitely is.
Milk in a gas form. I don't even know. Plasma milk.
If you would like to, you can give us money. Did you enjoy this? Do you enjoy the new fresh sound of this wonderful gigantic soundboard that we now have? That's thanks to Patreon donors. We took Patreon money and spent it on a new soundboard, and hopefully it's going to just allow us to do more and better things in the future. So thank you to everybody who already donates. We really appreciate it. It lets us know that what we're doing is appreciated. And like I said, it allows us to kind of buy some things and help make the show better and just kind of ease our stress levels when it's like, there's a game that we want to play on Steam that we think would be good for the show, but both Tyler and I are too cheap to pay the $2 that the game is. So it's real easy to be like, okay, so we definitely have $2 and we have $4 in Patreon. So we're going to go ahead and buy this really weird game. So thank you very much for that. We really do appreciate it. I do have some people to thank, but it's probably going to be on Wednesday. So tune in for that. If you'd like to join the ranks of the very generous listeners who donate, you can do that at patreon.com/tadpog. And again, thank you very, very, very much for doing that. You can mail us things if you want, right?
Yeah.
Nicole, you probably have that memorized, I think. The P.O. Box?
Yes. TADPOG, care of Nicole Nance, P.O. Box 3785, Paducah, Kentucky 42002.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And thank you again, Chris Edler, for sending us the horrible food and beverages.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So some of interesting / horrible. Some of it is horrible.
My favorite thing in that package, the autographed photograph of
Yeah, it's
Tarzan
the
and
best
Troy.
thing. We can all agree that's the best thing in that box. We have an Instagram, tadpog_podcast. I have to think about it every time not to say tadpog_Instagram. That's what my brain's like, no, do that. That's pretty sure that's
Yeah.
right. Say that thing. Tyler, stop it. Say that thing. No brain.
Let's change the
No
account
brain.
name to tadpog_Instagram.
In an alternate universe where Tadpog owns Instagram.
It's a very, very obscure and alternate universe. Let's see. Our theme song is Moose. Let's see more drive. Link to that track before the show notes at tadpog.com. Thought I'd do it. Get that out of the way. There we go.
That's great.
So how would everybody like to close this out?
I'd like to close it out as Tarzan and Troy. I think that's obvious.
Okay. Everybody good?
So you can either.
So who's
do it-
Troy?
Well, we had to we had to split it. Two of us got to be Tarzan. Two of us got to be Troy.
And one of us is Nicole.
Obviously. Oh shit, we have 5.
Yep.
So I'll stand out then. You guys can go ahead.
But no, you've got too good of a Tarzan to
Oh,
you gotta do it.
you guy. Fine, I'll do Tarzan. You convinced me.
So until next time. I'm Troy the cat.
Now do Cave Manny.
Ooga?
That's another Tadpog favorite.
The dance area, and I swear to God, like most strip clubs I go to, like the private dance area it's somewhat nice or somewhat secluded. This was just
bags of trash. Or just bags.
I would have been fine with that. At least they're not hiding anything. This was like a bare room with just 6 elementary school style plastic chairs in it.
Oh, Lord.